Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are presented with the city of Holybrunn by Pavel, which is a whopping 570,000 population city, built on the Great Highlands map, the same map that we are building Edinburgh out on. So I'm really interested to see how someone else has taken this map in a totally different direction to what I have, and it's also going to be interesting to see just how well this city runs at more than 500,000 people. So, let's get stuck into this one, shall we? Should be quite interesting build this. So, as with the last city, it's a question of where on earth do we start? It's absolutely huge, significantly larger than Edinburgh. The simulation speed is essentially non-existent. If we get down to one of the boats here, a snail would describe this as glacial, wouldn't it? It's very slow, so I wouldn't be expecting any significant walking point in this episode. I think with it being Great Highlands, the best place to start is going to be the start of the map. So Pavel said this is a launch day city. So he's had this for pretty much a year now, isn't it, since last October. And this is where the Great Highlands map starts. So we've got a big cloverleaf interchange here. The game isn't paused, by the way. This is just the simulation at this size. So this looks like one of the plot ones, I think. I don't think this has been hand-drawn. And then we come into the city where we can even see some detailing. I will try my best not to destroy the frame rate today, but it is what it is. But some really nice detail at the front of the city, using some of the textures and some of the props, so I always like seeing things like that at the introduction to a city there. Some apartments mixed in with the row housing is something I'm drawn to there. I think that's quite a nice aesthetic, that, isn't it? The gardens at the back with kind of the solid ends on the side. I really like that as a city block, actually. We'll have to remember to use that one. It looks like he has at least somewhat taken inspiration from Edinburgh, I would say. There's a college in the same location we had over here, two high schools pretty similar located as well. And although you can see here, he didn't carve the river through the land like we did, so that really changed up the landscape, didn't it? I really like how that looks, actually. And then through here, it looks like mostly kind of just outer-lying suburbia stuff. I don't think we're missing out on too much. This interchange is quite interesting, isn't it? Let's have a little look at this. Super wide elevated ramps coming off there. Almost like a Mickey Mouse kind of interchange, isn't it? Very big. Unfortunately, we can't really analyze the flow just due to that simulation speed. But one thing he has done with the Great Highlands map is he's flattened all of these super large mountains that do come with this map. For those that are familiar with our Edinburgh build, you will know these are all enormous mountainous landscapes, but he has totally flattened them here. In an effort to just build out more suburbia. With a really nice view as well, has to be said, right? He's really nailed the kind of outer-lying sprawl aesthetic there, hasn't he? Really cool. Really like how that looks from here. There's multiple different school campuses through there as well, we can see. These are all quite nice, aren't they? Combination of elementary and high schools there. Alongside the welfare office, I think. Which is quite interesting. And then over here, we also have a very large airport nearby to where we have Edinburgh's airport, actually, but this is the big international beast. I'm actually not a huge lover of this asset. I find it a little bit, I don't know, too modernistic, I think, but I know there are airports in the world like this. But it does have a nice entrance to it, doesn't it, actually? Don't mind that at all. Oh, it's a train station, is it? I had no idea that this airport came with a train station. It shows how many times I've used it. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know it came with a train station. And then over here, just little bits of industry, and then we do come into his main sort of CBD, which for us, of course, we know as Lower Bourbon, which is really cool. So he also told me he wanted me to check out the central train station as part of the city showcase. So let's see if we can spot that. That's got to be it, right? Hasn't it? Looks like a custom station there, I think, doesn't it? Over here in the corner. It's got the university right in the middle of the city, which I really like. That's a really cool, impressive asset for a downtown, isn't it? Really cool. Having it right in the city centre like that. Well, I think this is what he wants us to show mainly. This enormous custom transit hub, which has been very nicely done. Lots of really fun work around here with the bus exchange. Don't know what's going on there. Let's put that down to simulation. Or lack of simulation, I should say. Yeah, so super big transit hub. I really like the custom configurations here with the trams and the buses. That's very tasty. And then this absolute beast. Would you look at this? This is incredible. So this is a train station. Let's see if we can break down exactly what's happened here. So tons of prop detailing out the front. What assets are these? Oh, they're storefronts and carports. That is so clever. I love that. To make a little, just like a little cafe or a ticket office, isn't it? That's incredibly clever, Pavel. I absolutely love that. And then fencing with lots of tables, tons of surface work through here as well. I really like how he's respected the front of the train station. There's hedges, lots of umbrellas, parasols, little rock formations with tree designs, playgrounds, a real faithful recreation there of some of the transit. I really like seeing that. A nice surround as well. The inner city here, it kind of falls down as it gets towards this transit hub, so you emerge, you know, out of this train station into a pretty cool view, has to be said. I really like the skyline. Then the train station itself, so this is a unit building, isn't it? Yeah, so this is the Epicurean Gardens. It is actually a residential space. But then around it, he's built up layers. Well, let's see if we can kind of break down exactly what this is. So there's... that looks like an elevated pathway to me, is it? Oh no, so that's a horizontal pillar with a fence on it. And then the European storefronts. Yeah, mixed storefronts there. Is actually what makes up the elements of the train station. So storefronts, pillars, and fencing is what it's actually made out of. And then on the actual platforms himself here, of course this is where he's got his train stopping, with some very custom stations. This is a incredibly cool train station, probably one of the most unique custom stations we've ever seen. Is it multi-layered? I'm interested to see here if it's multi-layered. No, it's just the one. I guess you could do that, I think, couldn't you, with two different layers of train station, one on the top, one on the bottom. I'm not sure how you'd configure that, but it's definitely possible. Well, that's definitely one of the most cool custom stations I've ever seen. Really, really great work there, Pavel. I'll definitely be making the thumbnail, I think. And then just off of the back of this train station is an enormous sunken highway system with some pretty wild train lines. The train police will be after you here, Pavel. They won't be happy with this. A little bit steep, but whatever. I am not the train police, so I will not criticize it. And then, yeah, it's pretty wild networks through here, isn't it? Let's just kind of find the start of this place. Oh, although also stumbling across a very wonderful little port. Oh, would you look at that? That is very clever. These single rails as the kind of tracks for the dock's crane. That's so cool, man. That's a great bit of detailing. I love that. I will absolutely be using that. That is an incredible idea. Really, really creative, Pavel. I love seeing stuff like that. Yeah, so I like this little industrial port. I love what he's done for his keys here, actually. Can we have a look at what's going on here? So let me just delete a horizontal pillar. Is that just... I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a... It's just a cut and fill wall, isn't it? But I can't tell what it's made out of. I'll just delete a section. Ah, is the road under the water, I wonder? I think it is, isn't it? It looks like it is. Okay, I think that's what's happening there. I think the road isn't... Yeah, isn't on top. It's actually beneath, which gives a really unique key aesthetic, doesn't it? This is a totally different way of doing it. I'd never considered that before. So then just away from that port, we have the entrance to these major highway networks that come into the downtown. With a big sunken system here that does have a little bit of traffic on it. I guess it's kind of hard to discern at this simulation speed whether or not this is a really bad jam or if it's just kind of a busy rush hour jam. Not sure, but lots and lots of layering. Look at all this system network here. Big kind of square about over the highway. All flowing in a big one-way system through here. Really creative interchange, and then this heads off into another highway network that spans through the middle of the city with various different little creative off-ramps through this space. A big interchange here right in the middle of the city too. Yeah, which doesn't look to be too busy. Is this just... Yeah, it's just AI idiocy, isn't it? Trying to switch lanes where they shouldn't be doing. So, not really a lot you can do to control that. But big intercity highway networks passing through here. I don't think I missed anything in the downtown. Pavel was pretty happy for us to discover the city by ourselves. What I am interested in is to how we developed the waterfronts differently in Egg and Reddit, didn't we? We did a lot more park space here. Whereas this is big bridges, big quays, and big city as well, isn't it? Huge high-rise spaces here. So really impressive waterfront skyline. Over here, again, yeah, he's just built all of this. So as we move out here in Edinburgh, this is all kind of still countryside for us, this part of the city, isn't it? But Pavel has really, really expanded quite far out. There's another build over here. And this is all just kind of the outer city over here. He's also got quite a nice crawling height, all it has to be said. Got low density over here, then up to the row houses, apartments, and then all the way up into that massive skyline. So I can appreciate the crawling height there over the grander scale of things. Very nice. Yeah, I was drawn to this. What's this? This is a university, just a big education campus, isn't it? I really like what he's done here. We always love doing this, making kind of a dedicated campus for these things. But really nice combo of assets. University, 2 elementary schools, high schools. Then again, I bet at this, yeah, at this population size, it's almost impossible, isn't it, to keep up with the school demands. I think if anything, that shows the school system still needs quite a bit of rebalancing, doesn't it? There ain't no way you're keeping up with elementary demand at a city that's more than 500,000 people. So pretty wild. But I really like this. It's pretty nice. And then we come over here into more connections. This is, of course, one of the outside connections, isn't it? On this map, where there is a little industrial plant. This is a factory, isn't it? This is the switch on. I think we've got this one in Edinburgh, haven't we, if I remember correctly? Yeah, one of the big factory units out here right on the edge of the map. There is a problem with death in the city. I'm assuming this is me loading in, maybe without something, but there was no JSON file sent, so I'm assuming we're okay to play it as this. But in terms of the death care, yeah, it's just simply not enough with the crematorium there, is it? Although there is a lot of cemetery availability. I guess just in those traffic jams, all the hearses are stuck trying to collect bodies, probably. That's probably what's going on there. More towards this side, I don't think. We just got some regular zoning out here. Big old wind farm as well that's helping power the city. More custom interchange out here. This is pretty creative. I like this. Nice little switch system to get off, reminiscent of New Bioke's exit interchange, isn't it? I like that one, with the roundabouts and the slip lanes. And then we come into some more significant infrastructure over here. One of his... This is the rail yard, isn't it? Yeah, it is the rail yard. Is out here with the vehicle factory, which I haven't seen too much of, to be honest, in my time in CS2. Nice one. I'll have to remember to bring that one into Edinburgh at some point. And then more huge interchange work here. I don't think this is a custom one, is it? I'll have to remind myself. I never use the custom intersections. Let's open up our road menu here, and then we'll go across to them. No, yeah, this is a custom one for sure. Yeah. He's good at interchanges. He's very good at getting all the slip lanes together. Although we do have a little bit of train traffic here, do we? If you can call it that. It's just very slow trains, isn't it? And then we do come out into just more huge industry out here. 2 metro yards as well, alongside more train infrastructure. I am interested to see, I know we're not finished looking at the city yet, but how a city of this size's production chains and finances are working. So 141 million through taxation. Let's have a look at those tax rates, shall we? Oh, interesting. 4% on residential. And then 12 and 10 and 10 for the others. He's earning a ton of money through that commercial tax, isn't he? And then the demands at this size, essentially no residentials want to move in anymore. It's all industrial demand. And then the production chain is actually surprisingly well balanced for a city of this size. Like coming down into material goods, a little less so here. But it's interesting, isn't it, how I also have extreme convenience food deficits, and so does Pavel. I wonder if there's a bug there somewhere, or if neither of us are providing either enough livestock or wheat, right? But he's done a very good job. The city earns an enormous amount of money. It has capped out at the 2 billion mark, with 3.1 million coming in an hour. So an incredibly successful city from Pavel. He is playing with the economy. So I think that pretty much rounds out the downtown. We got one of the bureaus over here. This is the security bureau, is it? Which one is this? Yeah, Central Intelligence Bureau. But again, really nice positioning in this big kind of open park space at the foot of all the towers. I like how he's used some of the larger infrastructure as part of his downtown. Oh, we look at that. Yes, please. I would love to watch this walk around, Pavel, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen at this speed, does it? Unfortunately. It looks like at once upon a time there was some wonderful walking porn to be had here. I also just noticed that in the recent patch as well that Colossal Order put out recently, it's they did say they'd improve simulation speed, but I am not noticing an improvement with this. I love this, look at that. A big tree-lined tram road all the way down. And with those alley frontage roads for the commercial, that's a really nice road design there, isn't it? You could probably do that with Road Builder now, actually, couldn't you? Just to combine all the lanes together, even with the median and the trees in the middle. And that would be a nice design, actually. But really nice view down that street, isn't it? Up to the skyline. Really, really like that. Great work, Pavel. Really love this hillside. And then this brings us right into the heart of the city, where we were earlier, where there's lots of people over here as well. Another high school in the city too. That takes us back toward the train station over here, doesn't it? I think we've picked up on pretty much everything out this way. If we head back toward Lower Bourbon, yeah, I think this is all just residential service and parks out here, isn't it? But, he's got a nice road hierarchy though. He has respected it for the most part. Some of the gradients, you could argue, might be criticised by some, but I am not one of those some. I won't criticise your gradients, Pavel. Yeah, crazy highway work too. I think we've noticed this before, haven't we? So passing over one of the ways back out into the Firth here, and I'm pretty sure, is this the one we terraformed? Yeah, it would have been, because we've got all our cargo ports down here, haven't we? But yeah, big highways coming over, that then tunnel through a little landmass to come out over here. This is pretty crazy highway work, especially with the trains over here too. I remember Biffa losing his mind for one of these things during a Cities 1 traffic fix, I think, many years ago now. But yeah, pretty mental highway work over the waterways around Great Highlands, which are real kind of distinctive features of this map, I think. If you are going to play Great Highlands, you've really got to learn to work with these waterways through here. And then up through here, there's yet another university, which is all on pedestrian roads. This is an interesting configuration, isn't it? But I bet that has a wonderful view, doesn't it? Oh, yes, yes it does. Look at that. Almost 360 panoramic views of the entire city from up here. So I do love to see a hillside respected. I always like to see a sight line like this factored into a build. And then there's lots more education. Again, I imagine these so many different little education facilities just spanned across the city. You can see how many elementary schools he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is it? Just in one sample of a screenshot there. So it's pretty mental, isn't it? I think they really need to rebalance the education system still, or at least increase the capacity of these schools. But I love that. He's got the mausoleum from the graveyard out here as well, a part of the campus, which is very nice. I do appreciate that. And then we come into what looks like a lot of supporting industry out here. So lots of ore mining going on. This is all hooked in near the outside connection, just off of this dirt road here. And then there is farmland down here as well. So I'm guessing this side of the city seems to be sustaining a lot of his production chains, isn't it? This landfill over here? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is landfill. Next to the refinery, and then more ore extraction. Lots more industry out this way as well, where we've got some train lines converging. He also said as well that since this is a launch day city, that the detailing has got significantly better as time has gone on. Obviously, pretty much the same story for our cities as well, isn't it? So away from the start, we should be seeing more detailed areas. I like all this industrial configuration here. Lots of kind of significant large factories based up and around the highways here. I always like this very kind of extravagant industrial infrastructure. I think it's very nice. And then over here, we come back over to where we haven't built yet. Of course, we have a road frame over here in Edinburgh, which we haven't built there yet, which we will one day. Some highway traffic for no apparent reason. I think that's just lane changing idiocy, isn't it? And then lots of office and industry space through here as we arrive at 2 incineration plants and a nuclear facility. Guessing this is where a lot of his power will be coming from. I wonder how much money he's making through service trade, actually. nearly 600,000, for which the majority of that is exported electricity. I imagine it would be if he has all this power production. I think we saw another power plant over there as well, didn't we? So there'll be a lot of power being made here. And then we're kind of playing with some smaller town vibes out here, aren't we? Like how he's used the gully there in the land to use the bridge. That's very nice, isn't it? Then this comes all over here, which, again, it looks so weird seeing the Great Highlands map flattened out. It really opens up the space for you, doesn't it? And then we come down over here, where it looks like we are indeed missing some of those textures. That's okay, though. I'm guessing they probably would have been the water surf textures, but I love a bit of beach detailing. This is super cute. I love low-density homes up against the waterfront like that. And then he's gone to the effort of doing some parasol and deck chair detailing as well, which I always appreciate. Beach builds are much more viable in CS these days, especially with the introduction of those surfaces. If you're going to delve into mods, they just get better and better anyway. And then this road flows up and out onto a national highway network, which takes us to a, what's it called, telecom tower over here as well. There is also over this way as well, the wider expanded cargo port, which we missed. We're back over here with the networks here. Now, I'm wondering if the bonus to doing this with the roads is to basically have the key without having the network there. It's a really interesting way of doing keys, and it's quite a different aesthetic as well, isn't it, compared to how we do it with the road right up against to help form the key. I will have to remember that the next time we come to build a waterfront and try it out. But either way, his cargo port is also over here as an extension of that harbour we saw earlier, and with a very nice view too. A real thick skyline, that, isn't it? It's a big old long boy. Lots of zoning in there, but really like it. This view in particular from the cargo terminal is really quite spicy. Big fan. With some detail over here as well. He's done some of the net lane stuff, and he's also got the ploppable cargo containers down as well. It spins off into another trumpet, which is a weird interchange, isn't it? I've never seen one configured like that before, although the key police might mat you down for that one, Pavel. But yeah, I've never seen a trumpet kind of... It doesn't really make it a trumpet anymore, does it? It just becomes, I guess, a crossed fingers interchange. is how you would describe that. And that then links us back into the airport that we saw earlier. And then there's lots more orbital industrial spices around here with post offices and factories and whatnot. And then that really kind of rounds out everything that we've seen in the city here. We didn't check out this little downtown here, did we? But I think it's just more zoning and parks, really. Oh, would you look at that? Holy smokes, what's going on down here? What is this? Is this a network gone wrong or something? I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, we'll have to look at that another day, I think. But either way, Pavel has created an absolutely monstrous city in CS2 and Great Highlands here. It is a shame that these higher population cities deteriorate so much after a certain number, isn't it? They just essentially can't be run anymore, and I'm assuming Pavel isn't building this out anymore because it must just be insufferable. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to take Edinburgh up to those massive population numbers, because you can't play it. Hopefully that will continue to improve over time, but imagine with all those sims being rendered, with all their teeth, arses and elbows that they're all so detailed with, it can't run at an efficient speed. Like, the game is still running right now. It's just so slow. But Pavel's done a really nice job. The train station in the middle of the city there is super cool. Possibly the most unique custom station I've ever seen. Love all the tiered storefronts with the fence detailing. And then all the detailing at the front of the station as well with the trams and the buses looks super awesome. A really nice way to form some transport infrastructure. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more custom stations featured in our CS2 showcases. If you do have a city you would like to feature in this series, there is a link down to a Google form below. Please fill it out and I will do my best to showcase your city. And of course, massive shout out to all the patrons that help support the channel, with a special roll call to Louis Adlin and OA Casino. If you're interested in that, instant gaming and Patreon are both down below. Otherwise, thank you so much to Pavel for sending this city in, and to you guys for watching the episode. Let me know what you think of this one. This is by far and away the biggest city we've had submitted so far. But otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. I just thank you all so much indeed for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.